I will call the Joint Government Oversight and Internal Services Committee of November 9th, 2023 to order. First order of business is Pledge Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item is adoption of agenda.
Support, Wallace.
I have a motion by Commissioner Romano, supported by Commissioner Wallace, to approve the agenda. Any discussion on the agenda? Seeing none, please vote.
Motion passes 8-0.
Thank you. Next item is approval of the meeting minutes of the Joint Government Oversight and Internal Services Committee minutes dated October 12, 2023. Motion by Commissioner Van Sickle, supported by Commissioner Zinner. Any discussion on the meeting minutes? Seeing none, please vote.
Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is public participation. This is our first of two public participations. You may speak for 3 minutes on any agenda items. Anyone wish to speak on agenda items? Going once, twice, gone. Next item is presentation, a proclamation awarding the 2023 Macomb County Pat Daniels Veteran of the Year Award. And for this, Commissioner Sabatini will be presenting the award, and I would like our good friend Pat Daniels to join him at the podium.
Chair, do we need a motion?
We need a motion.
Motion.
Support.
I had a motion by Commissioner Van Sickle, supported by Commissioner Grott. It's all yours, Joe. Give Pat a little time to get up there.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well, it's my honor to be here today to present the 2023 Pat Daniels Veteran of the Year Award. This individual doesn't even know that they're getting the award, but they're here. We keep this under wraps as best as we possibly can as the board, and then we have to invite this individual to the meeting so you can present him the award. So this year, the Pat Daniels Macomb County Veteran of the Year Award is presented to Gary Purcell. Gary. I'm going to say a few words, and then obviously Pat, I'm sure you'll want to say a few words, and then Gary, you're more than welcome to say a few words. But you know, about Gary, just really quick, who selfishly gives his time, energy, and undauntedly efforts to Macomb County's large and growing community of veterans in need. As a veteran himself, Gary serves his community each and every day as a compassionate and empathetic advocate for our county's veterans. I don't want to talk about everything that Gary's done. I'd like Gary to talk about that because there's so much here in this proclamations, commissioners and the public. I think it's always best to have the recipient talk about what they've done. And Pat, obviously this started with you receiving this award initially, and I know you have a lot to say about Gary, so.
Keep it clean.
So, Pat, do you want to talk first, and then we'll have Gary talk, and then I'll read a couple other things from the proclamation.
I just, Gary's been involved in the chapter, I don't know, 20 years, 30 years.
30 years.
30 years. Has been the president the last 5.
3 or 4, something like that.
And has kept the vet center going, kept the chapter going. The chapter's grown. We're the 3rd or 4th largest chapter in the country still.
Don't let Mike speak. Don't do that.
And he's done a great job of keeping that place going and helping veterans every day. He was on the Veteran Service Commission after I left for a couple of years, and Gary's just a veteran's veteran. He lives up to the hype, the Pat Daniels hype. But I can't think of anybody better than Gary to get the award. He's the man.
Thank you. Well, it's an honor to receive this from the commission in the county of Macomb. It's something that's been in my blood ever since 1968 when I came home. I had the honor of joining the VFW back then. And then I worked through the VFW, and then when the Vietnam Veterans of America opened up on Chapter 9 downtown in Detroit, was there. And then Pat and some of the guys started a chapter out here in Macomb County. I joined there, and it's been a rewarding experience to help our fellow brothers and sisters improve their lives every day. I've learned a lot from a lot of different veterans, but mostly it's these people that are behind me. They volunteer their time every day, day in and day out. No questions asked. They're there for veterans in this community and other communities. We not only service veterans in our own community, but sometimes we get them from Oakland County, Wayne County, and we guide them where to go. We were in Roseville for a lot of years at our vet center on 12 Mile Road, and then we moved here to 15 Mile Road. And it's just been an honor. We see veterans every day. I could not explain to you what we do in that vet center because we see them in a different aspect than Macomb County Veteran Services does. Because when they come into our vet center, they know there's no government agency there. A lot of veterans, especially from our era, don't like government agencies. It's just a fact of life. But we guide them to where they need to be, whether it's down to John Dingle or Ann Arbor, or the Macomb County Veteran Services, who we work very closely with. We have 4 service officers in there, Tuesday through Friday from Macomb County Veteran Services in our building. We have the VVA on Mondays. We have many programs, and I invite you all to stop by at your convenience Monday through Friday from 9 in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon to see what we do. You would be truly amazed what goes on in that chapter. From the food pantry, from the needy, to the service officers, to our speakers bureau, to our honor guard that's out 3 or 4 times a week doing graveside funerals or funeral home funerals. Our speakers bureau is going into the VA hospital, and it's on and on and on, and it never quits. One guy goes down, another guy steps up. We're still very young at heart. We're reaching our age momentum, but they still keep plugging along. They just keep moving and moving. It's such an honor to get this, not only from the commissioners and the county, but named after Pat. Me and Pat known each other for 50 years. 70s, I was marching with the Nighthawks. We were all Vietnam veteran team out of Schaefer Shell, East Detroit VFW. We were the only ones on the street. Vietnam veterans are hidden. They were undercover. And we'd see them marching down the street, and we had the chance to march at Colwell Hall to bring in the colors for the National Republican Convention. When it was there, we marched behind Ronald Reagan at the State Fair. Needless to say, veterans is in me. You honor the guys and girls that has made the ultimate sacrifice by working for veterans every day. There's no higher honor that you could give them to making sure that their brothers and sisters are taken care of. And there's issues that need to be taken care of, and we're there for that. We don't know everything, but we know where to send you to get the job done. So on behalf of myself, my family, and all my brothers and sisters back here who make it possible for me to stand up here in front of you today, thank you and God bless.
So obviously Gary could talk much more about his background and everything that he's done, and obviously I said that each and every day, and he referenced that to all of us. But I just wanted to say this. This is per the proclamation, whereas it is fitting and proper that Gary Purcell, a man of high integrity and valor, be recognized by this board as a 2023 recipient of the Macomb County Pat Daniels Veterans of the Year Award, a special honor recognizing an outstanding veteran for the many contributions and distinguished years of service to the citizens of Macomb County that are veterans of the United States military. Now and therefore be it proclaimed by the Macomb County Board of Commissioners, speaking for and on behalf of all county residents as follows, that these presents the Macomb County Board of Commissioners hereby publicly proclaims Gary Purcell as the recipient of the 2023 Macomb County Pat Daniels Veteran of the Year Award. Be it further proclaimed that a suitable copy of this proclamation be presented to Gary in testimony of the high esteem in which he has been held by the Macomb County Board of Commissioners. So congratulations again, Gary. Thank you. Where's Kyle at? Where's our pictures? Are we taking pictures?
Kyle?
I got it. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not taking pictures.
Did we get them?
I have one.
We'll take one with him holding the proclamation. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioners, please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Next items under appointment and interviews. Item A, Health Department Hearing Board. Health Department recommendation with board concurrence. One alternate partial term to expire on December 31st, 2024. Alternate city member, Linda Jenuwine. Motion, please.
So moved by Nard.
Support.
I have a motion by Commissioner Nard, supported by Commissioner Van Sickle. Andrew.
Good afternoon, Chair. Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is not Linda Jenuwine.
Really?
Shocker, but this is actually Tom Barnes, our Environmental Health Director. Linda Jenuwine was unfortunately not able to join us today. She works at Macomb Community College, and they had a special training that came up. She's not able to be present today, so I'm representing on her behalf, but I would like to recommend with your confirmation as the board to serve on the Health Department Hearing Board. This was a vacant position previously served by Dr. Donna Amboyer, who had to step down with his new roles that he was participating with the jail project. So with that, there was a vacancy for our citizen board. This is the appeals board for the health department, gives the ability for residents and businesses to appeal any decision made by the health department, and is their right. So they get to have the chance to bring their case in front of the appeals board, which is myself, the health officer. There's a representative for the board, and then also a citizen at large. Linda Jenuwine is a Ray Township resident. She works at the community college and teaches health education. She actually also worked at the health department back in '91 through 2003. So she's actually has experience in the health department, environmental health. So she would be a great resource to have and very good to have on the appeals board. I'd like to answer any questions
Thank you.
this time.
Seeing no questions, please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Before I move on in the agenda to our vet friends, it won't hurt our feelings if you get up and leave. We have budgets to discuss, closed session, all that mundane stuff that I'm sure you wouldn't like to sit through. You want me to break protocol and let you speak?
Yes.
Yes, I would.
I can't do it, Mike.
Okay, Operation Christmas is coming up, people. These guys put it on. December 2nd's the giant dance. It's amazing.
Get us a flyer.
I'm not talking, I don't know what they're saying. See you guys.
Take care.
Take care, Pat.
Pat, God bless. Gary, congrats. You too.
Yeah.
To move on with the agenda. Next item under 7B is Art Institute Authority Executive Appointment with Board Concurrence. 3 renewals due to amendment and Articles of Incorporation. 3-year terms to expire December 31st, 2026. Designees are Kevin Chandler, Jennifer Lehrer, and Jill Riley. Motion's in order.
Support Lucido.
I have a motion by Commissioner Nard, supported by Commissioner Lucido. Any discussion on the appointment? Seeing no speakers, please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is 8A, Budget Reviews, Board of Commissioners Budget Page, C17 in our budget books. I believe Crystal's going to present them.
Yeah.
You want?
Yeah, well, no, Chris is going to present. Just wanted to welcome, we put together a presentation for the budget, and it's been an active year, and we've done well with the money that you've been provided last year, and we look forward to continuing it going forward. And Crystal's prepared a presentation for us, and so without further ado.
I need a motion to proceed.
Support Zinner.
Commissioner Sabatini, supported by Commissioner Zinner. Go ahead, Crystal.
Okay, I have a brief presentation that highlights what your budget supports. This year, you have been in 61 meetings for over 72 hours in this room. You have considered 647 agenda items. I pulled the stats out for the main ones there. We have coordinated county facility tours, 8 of them, which many of you have participated in. Our social media presence continues to grow. Several commissioners play key roles in organizations such as MAC, NACO, and SEMCOG, which I've highlighted on this slide. The office facilitates many programs and events. This year was our first bike ride. It was our 29th year of Casual Day. We also run the Green Schools program for Macomb County, which involves up to 130 schools a year. Commissioners have distributed 10,000 copies of our guidebook since August. Our town hall had a record attendance this year, and it was the first year we've done that in person since 2019. A commissioner chairs the Macomb Orchard Trail Commission, and we have our staff fully supports that commission as well. This was our 6th year of the Older Adult Advisory Committee, and this year we visited 5 different senior centers for the first time. It was our 2nd year with a booth at the County Senior Fun Fest, which brings in hundreds of seniors. We held our first Student Government Day this year, and we're currently accepting essays for 2024. We host a swearing-in reception before each new term. Our county is the lead in planning the Tri-County Summit each year. Just a few minutes ago, in honor of Veterans Day, the board presented the 5th Annual Veteran of the Year Award. We returned to the dinner reception format for the annual volunteer recognition event. We held the 8th Annual Yoga at the Hill event. We also manage a contact list of over 16,000, and in 2023 have sent out 6 bi-monthly newsletters, 20 email blasts, 14 press releases, and created 11 commissioner interview videos. None of this would have been possible without your staff. Combined, staff has over 92 years of government experience, with almost 80 in Macomb County alone. And there's a lot of talk about staff leaving Macomb to go to Oakland, but we actually have a staff member that left Oakland to come here. And here are the budget numbers that support all of that work that is done. Next slide, I outline the expenses that we actually have control over. And from those, we've only gone up 1.5% since 2023. I'll give you a minute on that slide so you can see where. I don't have any additional asks for 2024 outside of our recommended budget, but I'd be happy to answer any questions anyone has.
Thank you, Crystal. You must have did a fantastic job because I have no speakers.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, I do? Okay. Commissioners up.
Thank you. And you did do a fantastic job. I want to commend all of our staff for doing an amazing job. Really glad to see the bike initiative, and hopefully, in the future, we can have other initiatives in everyone's district. I think that's really important. And my question is regarding the position that Rolla had held. Is there any plan to fill that? And there was some concern that individual wasn't fulfilling the actual job responsibility. So can you give us some clarification as to what that is? And will it just be hunch-free moving forward? Or I think there was some overlap too. So if you could just clarify what.
Sure, so I can send you a copy of that job description because that would probably help you understand what's expected. I don't have that in front of me. We do expect to fill that position. It's still in our budget, and we do have, it's more of a liaison position to Humphrey. I don't think there's overlap. And then later on the agenda, we have our constituent management software. So that will require some management that this position would be able to fulfill for us.
Okay. Thank you, Crystal.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. You came up under the Art Institute Authority, so I don't know if it's my machine. No?
It might just be the software.
Again. Thank you. Seeing no other speakers, we have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you, Crystal. Next item is department recommendations, 2024 board meeting schedule. I need a motion.
Support Romano.
I have a motion by Commissioner Nard, supported by Commissioner Romano. Any discussion on the schedule? Seeing no speakers, please vote.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion passes 12-0.
Well, Adriana keeps looking at me, but it is the software. It's not popping up. Next item is a proclamation congratulating Gompers, did I say that right? Cornish Bar on the occasion of their 60th anniversary. I almost said wedding. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Sabatini, supported by Commissioner Romano. Anybody want to speak on this? Nope. Seeing no speakers, please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Next item is a proclamation commencing Eugene Gargoyle upon his retirement as board chair from the Detroit Institute of Arts. A motion's in order.
So moved.
Support Zinner.
Motion by Commissioner Van Sickle, supported by Commissioner Zinner. No speakers. Please vote.
We got away easy today.
About time.
We're not done yet.
Motion passes 12-0.
Who said that?
I
Barbara?
was just kidding. It's just a joke.
Next item is Internal Services Committee, so I will turn it over to Chair Van Sickle.
Thank you, Commissioner Hall.
Nice job.
Moving on with internal services, item 12A and 12B, I'd like a motion to move to full board.
So
This-
moved, Perna.
Thank you. Commissioner Perna and Commissioner Nard supported this motion to move 12A and B to full board. And this is a budget amendment for Lido's Digital Solutions Incorporated Communication Management Software, $102,017.37. And then there's additional work. The B is for $142,032.37.
Ready? Thanks. During last year's budget, Chair Brown and I had mentioned that we'd been researching constituent management software, and the board at that time supported us and appropriated funds into our budget this year to purchase that. We have spent this past year, with the help of IT, participating in demonstrations and evaluating different products, which led us to the recommendation we have before you today. This software will be a great enhancement to our office to streamline everything we do outside of meeting management. We currently have the most involved group of commissioners, and as a staff, we love this. That's what we're here for, to help you do your job. But it has created an increase in work and information that we have to manage. As commissioners are out and about in their community and engaging more with residents, there are increased issues they are turning to us to help guide them with. I just went through all of our events and programs that we do, and that's an example of all the additional information we're trying to manage. The coordination of all these things, we were trying to look at the best way to keep all the information in one place. The software will not only manage the multiple constituent requests we receive, which last week Chair Brown counted his emails. He had 36 emails alone in 1 week. It will also help manage all the events and the outreach that we do. We do have IT here, and we can answer any questions you guys have.
I'm having
Technical difficulties.
difficulties myself.
Oh, Maya's up.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. I think we need to upgrade civic clerk too while we're at it. Have we demoed this, Jaco? And how does it work? Can you explain why this is better?
I think Crystal can explain better to
Okay.
how the software works, but it has been demoed, like Crystal said. We've worked with the board on different packages, and this was the one that really fulfilled their needs to the best.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
I'm on the right place now. I just have one question. Ongoing maintenance cost is, what, 10% or something?
40,000 ongoing maintenance cost.
Is that what the extra 40,000 is in item B?
For year 2, that's the $40,000.
So we have to pay maintenance the first year too? I was looking for an explanation for the 40,000 between A and B. There's B is 40,000, item B is 40,000 more.
That's the upfront cost.
The first year is $102,000, and that includes,
Startup cost.
there's $15,000 that's part of that, and then the next year is, I'm sorry, the breakdown, I don't know if you can see this page in your attachment, it shows what's for each year.
I can't miss that.
It's page 17 in the quote. So it breaks down year 1 and 2 and what's for each.
Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you, Jacob. Commissioner Sabatini.
Thank you, Chair. Crystal, a couple questions. So I'm happy that we're moving forward on a CRM system. I mean, probably the last department that doesn't have some type of a technology package in this county, but so be it. Are any other departments using this CRM at all that we are?
Currently, or no?
No one.
No.
Okay.
It is a software that they could purchase additional licenses and use with us. That's why we went through IT, so that it could be offered to the entire county.
Okay, so theoretically, if other departments wanted to use this JACO, we would just be purchasing additional licenses for that department. There wouldn't be additional startup costs and everything else.
That's correct. It's also purchased under a GSA contract, which is a government contract, so it'll be the same pricing.
Okay, and then Crystal, is this in our budget for next year?
Yes.
It is. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Chair Brown?
Relates to the Commissioner Sabatini's question thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have talked to the Executive's Office about using this package in other departments, and so we're kind of like, they're interested in that. That's why they paid such close attention to us going forward when we did the analysis on the right ones to choose, because they probably envision expanding the use of that in some of their own departments. And so this is an answer to Commissioner Sabatini's question. Thank you.
Seeing no other speakers, please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. Moving on to 12C, contract with AT&T ASE on demand for $12,870 for 3 years. I need a motion to move this to full board.
So move, Hall.
Support Romano.
Thank you. Commissioners Hall and Romano made the motion and supported it to move this item to full board. Jaco?
Crystal did such a good job, I was hoping she would just do all the other items too. The AT&T contract here that we're asking for is just a renewal of our ASE contract, which is services on demand that we use for the different entities that dial in, especially when it comes to public safety, that dial into our network. These services are available on demand, and it is at the same cost that we contracted with AT&T for the previous term of 36 months.
Thank you. I don't see any speakers. Please vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Thank you. 12D, it's an agreement with Information Technology, a maintenance agreement for the first quarter of 2024 for $2,825,073.05. I need a motion to move to full board.
Motion to move to full board.
Thank you. Commissioner Romano and Sabatini made the motion and supported it to move this item to full board. Jaco?
Commissioners, this is the maintenance items we bring to you on a regular basis. I think there's about 22 items today. Maybe just call out some of the larger ones. One of them is Equivalent or Court View, the application that we use at the courts today for $303,000. Also our G Suite, which is Google, $248,000. And then one of the largest ones is Qualtrics maintenance and support, which is an application that you're very familiar with, for $781,352.
Thank you. Commissioner Sabatini?
Thank you, Chair. Jaco, could you, or do you have this already broken down by department as far as the total amount and then how it's allocated to each department?
Yes, we can definitely do that. You want to see what we spend on maintenance for each department?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are
totals, and then if you could provide that just on, because you're doing these quarterly.
We
there's
will
4
provide that
installments.
to you.
That would be great.
We
Just
will
so
do
we
that
have it.
moving forward also. When we bring it to the board, we'll show which departments are
That'd be great. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
affected.
Seeing no other speakers, please vote.
Motion passes 12 to 0.
Thank you. We're going to move on to items. I'd like to take 12E and F together. Budget amendment for information technology for ETech Consulting LLC, Environmental Health Phase 3 for $160,618. I'd like a motion to move to full board.
Support.
Thank you. Commissioner Nard and Haw made the motion and seconded it to move this item to full board. Jacob?
Commissioners, this is a project that started, if I remember correctly, around about 5 to 6 years ago. Came to the board, did an RFP, came to the board, and the project originally was going to be done in 3 different phases. We are finally at phase 3. Anticipated that it'll go much quicker, but one of the things that held this project up was obviously COVID in 2020. So we are now at the last phase, and these applications are environmental health applications, pools, foods, MRAP, and so forth. This is done by a company called ETech. That's our integrator. And it is part of the whole Acela integration that is being used by Public Works as well as environmental health. If you look at the maintenance, you'll see there's a maintenance item on there as well that's specifically for Acela, and that's the product we use for this.
Thank you. Seeing no speakers, please vote.
Motion passes 12 to 0.
Thank you. Item 13 is correspondence, Sheriff Marine Boathouse Project Dashboard Report for September 2023. I'd like a motion to receive and file.
Motion. Support Zinner.
Thank you. Commissioners Grote and Zinner made the motion and seconded it to receive and file. Please vote.
Chair, I had a question.
Certainly.
This type of update, this dashboard update, is something that I hope that we have with the intake center over at the term jail, but that facility as well. And utilizing these types of dashboards gives us the status. If there was dollars tied into this, I think it would be even better in this report. So maybe we can request that we get those types of info in the future.
I'd also like to see the information in a little more timely fashion. I mean, this is a dashboard's computerized, and we're a month and a half after the end of September. I would think a couple weeks to print off a report or send it to PDF would be plenty.
Maybe we can make that request. Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing no other speakers.
Mr. Chairman?
Oh,
I'm
sure.
sorry, I took my name off twice. On the question, they are planning a dashboard for the jail center, and I've talked to Deputy Executive Delden about it on a couple of occasions, and they're looking forward to bringing that forward, and that'll be coming out soon as well. So we'll take the comments going forward. So this is kind of like the practice run for what they're trying to do for the jail project, which we're going to see a lot of over the next 5 years. So good suggestions, and we'll pass them along. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Commissioner Zinner.
Thank you, Chair. To Chair Brown, there had been speaking of seeing the boathouse. I thought it was going to be in October. That was the thought. Do you know when there's going to be in?
I don't know. I kind of had the same question.
Yeah.
I've kind of lost track of it, but it's
I don't think.
Before ice.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Now, seeing no further speakers, please vote.
I'm missing 3 votes. Commissioner Zinner?
Mine was yes.
Okay, Commissioner Romano?
Yes.
And Commissioner Nard? Yes. Thank you. Motion passes 12 to 0.
Thank you. Item 14, public participation. This is an opportunity for the public to speak for up to 3 minutes on any issue at all. Anyone in the public wish to speak on any issue at all? 3 minutes. Anyone for public participation? Hearing none, we will close public participation, and we will move on to commissioner comments. And just give me a second for the software to catch up.
Bring that parade up again.
Commissioner Wallace.
Thank you, Chair. I wasn't going to mention the parade, but since someone brought it up, the 18th is the parade. Chair Brown's wife will be there. She said that she would join us this year, even though it may be cold. But I really wanted to talk about, give you an update on the Head Start numbers, which I was asking for. Last year, the funded enrollment allocation was 1,022, and this year the number was reduced to 762. So that's a large group of our 3-4-year-olds that are not getting that Head Start education. I know they did ask for the grant, received a grant that we talked about yesterday, which would open it up to maybe 20 more kids. And I will be speaking with Ed again to see just what we can do, because going into some of the elementary schools in my district, I'm seeing a lot of the kindergarteners they're coming in at a level that I haven't seen before. They're just not, it doesn't seem like they're even ready for kindergarten. And I don't know what that is, but I just see the need for this Head Start program to be what it was even last year. And we approved a lot of grants that would go towards Head Start last year that specifically was for a larger number of children. So hopefully we can get that number back up. That was one thing. The next thing is Edison's Crossing. That grand opening or ribbon cutting was today. It was an awesome event. There are many vets there that are grateful for the housing that they will be getting. So the apartments look great. They already have staff there. They're ready to open. And it's just a really nice apartment for those that may not have even been able to afford it. So I look forward to seeing Mount Clemens grow, and it's very close to downtown. And the last thing I wanted to mention was with the Macomb County Animal Shelter or Animal Control here yesterday, I saw their post and they mentioned 19 stray pets have been brought into the shelter just this week. And I know we talked about just the overflow of pets coming in that is overwhelming for them. And I just wanted to bring that up, that this is just an example, and it's every week. So this week alone, they had 19 stray pets, and they're begging the owners to come get these pets. We have a long weekend coming, and a lot of them may have just let these pets go because they can't afford it, and they mentioned that yesterday as well. So I just hope there's something, again, that we can do to support the animal shelter, because it's imperative. We don't want these animals running around, and we definitely don't want the shelter overrun. So that's my 3 things on top of the parade. Thank you.
You don't want on Joe Romano's porch either.
Exactly. That's right. That'll take care of things.
Commissioner Romano.
Thank you, Chair. This morning, the county put on a veterans breakfast for all county employees and elected officials over at Freedom Hill. And it was really nice. We had Laura Rhea was there from the Veterans Administration, and she spoke. And our executive was there, and he spoke. And just to hear the stories as the veterans received a gift from the county, and they spoke of just very shortly of when they joined, what they did, how long, what service branch they were in, and it was really kind of unique, and I personally really enjoyed it, and I just want to personally, on behalf of the veterans, I'm sure we all thank the county for putting it on. That's all I have. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Zong?
Thank you, Chair. Yesterday, I was awfully quiet. I was pretty devastated with the results of the election. And as you all know, when we run to win, not to lose. And so losing, I didn't really know how to respond to that. But I'm extremely grateful to still be here serving among all of you. I think that was the most difficult decision that I had to make when I ran for something else. And I also want to congratulate State Representative Lori Stone, who has broken a glass ceiling by being the first woman mayor to represent our city. I'm really excited about the changes that she will bring to our city to make it an even better place to live. And I also want to thank everyone who's reached out to me and anyone that has supported and that I haven't responded to. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Zinner?
Thank you, Chair. I'm glad that Commissioner Wallace made that mention about the Head Start program. In the last couple of years, when Ernest would bring up grants for that, I always asked him about how many children there were. And we spent a lot of money in that department. And those buses, they've never, as of last year, they've never been used. You know, they were kind of a bus, weren't they? That have never seen the light of day. Yeah. Yeah, he has several descriptions for it. Those I don't think have ever been used. And they were waiting for parts or this or that, but I was very surprised at the end, near the end of his time here, which I didn't know he was leaving at that time, after that. But I just assumed, I always wanted to ask him, well, how many times have you used those? But even though they're grants, which aren't our money, it just seems that there are things that are happening with these children for whatever reasons, that there's a lot of extra money going there, and the children are not the recipients of it. And maybe they're well-intentioned, but as you pointed out with the numbers, I wondered yesterday what the numbers were, but this is exceptionally low. And I know they're changing things, but it just seems to always be a concern of mine. And I'm glad that you brought that up, Commissioner. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Hall?
Thank you, Chair. I would like to thank Commissioner Romano and Commissioner Perna for their service in the military. And Commissioner Perna has assured me the wound of his foot is not due to his active service back in the late 60s. So thank you, Chair.
He's filing for disability.
Thank you. Commissioner Brown?
Along with that, it was kind of brought out this morning at the nice ceremony. It was good to go to an event that was for our people. We go to so many events out in the community and honoring, and they're all good events, but nice to have one recognizing how many employees we have that have served in our military through, direct Army, Guard, Reserve. It was really an interesting point. And one of the things that came out, and maybe wasn't noticed, but, the Board of Commissioners back in the day, so when one of our reservists leaves service, then they stopped getting paid by the county. And back in the day, they didn't receive benefits because their benefits stopped when they left to go off to wherever they were going, and their families were suffering. But the county stepped in and pay their way now going forward. So when they leave service, their families aren't with the health insurance and the protections that they had been afforded by their husband or wife leaving for service. And that's just a little thing that maybe you don't know that our county does on behalf of all the servicemen and women that go out and serve. And it was a good thing to be reminded of today, because I had forgotten about that. And it's a good thing. It was appreciated is what it was. So, and it was good to hear the backgrounds of so many employees and how their stories of how they got, into service and what they're doing now. And it was definitely worthwhile to attend. So thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Absolutely. I'd like to comment about Commissioner Wallace's comments about the animals. It's my belief, I don't have any studies to prove this, but it's my belief that some people go and get a dog or a cat, some kind of critter, and don't realize the expenses that come along with the animal. And then all of a sudden, oops, you know, do I buy food for the kids or do I buy food for the dog? I don't know if it's possible for us to have any kind of a info sheet, pet responsibility info sheet that we could get animal retailers in the county to provide to people to maybe help them have a second thought about, can I really afford this? Because you don't want people to take a pet and then just turn them out on the street 6 months later.
That's right.
That's cruel to the pet, particularly in bad weather around Michigan. So just to leave you with that thought. Another thing that's occurred to me is the executive has the senior expo, and he has different events, like for instance, he's going to have the State of the County event, and he always finds sponsors. I'm wondering if we should maybe find a sponsor or two for our Yoga at the Hill to buy all the t-shirts and stuff, and for our volunteer dinner, to fund the volunteer dinner and things. Just a thought. The executive seems to be able to find sponsors readily to fund all his events, so they don't come out of his budget. Maybe we should look at this and maybe we can expand some of our events.
I'll pass the hat along to the board.
I knew that was coming. I knew it.
I see something I said was amusing, Commissioner Hall.
Are you making a motion?
I have one, couple of things else to share. Earlier this week, I talked with someone from a organization that supports information about railroads. The organization is gorail.org, and they were talking about there's federal funding, grant funding, to improve railroad crossings or to abandon railroad crossings, either like by bridges or by tarring over the railroad or whatever is appropriate for that area. So if there's places in your district that have rails that are not being used or could use improvements with the rail crossing, reach out to me and I'll get you the information to go contact this organization. And they don't have the money, but they will help get you or the organization you want to work with to the organization that has the money. Also, sort of related to that, I'm one of your SEMCOG representatives, and I let them talk me into getting on the transportation board.
Good choice.
Yeah. And if there's anything that is outside the norm in your area, whether it be stormwater, culverts, or bridges, or things that are a little outside maybe what the normal funding stream in your jurisdiction would allow, reach out and I'll see if I can find out if the SEMCOG people can assist with getting grants or directing you or helping in some way or another. But anyway, the first step is to raise your hand and reach out. So I'll just offer that out there.
I got a lot of plank roads. I'm over my dirt roads, so I definitely need to get the
Well, if I'm going to
tracks
put in
going.
all this time to go to these meetings, I hope something comes out of it, is
Well, you're in a good spot. You're in a
sort of
real
where
good
I'm
spot.
going to. So with that, did Commissioner Zinner, did you want to speak again, or is that?
Yes, could I?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, Chair. Along with what Commissioner Van Sickle said, I know we've heard a lot about animals lately, but people do not understand all the cost, the time, and that they're going to live a long time. And I think sometimes they think that it reminds them of their childhood or whatever the situation is, but it's a huge commitment. And you see these advertisements for animals on television so often. I think especially on the weekends, I don't know, but there's just a lot of them. And I don't remember seeing as many advertisements that would you like to support a child somewhere? But it's like almost upside down in my thinking. We've always had dogs. I love dogs. I don't know how many cats my daughters have brought in over the years, but just visit for a little while till we found their home. I'm just saying that when money's low, people can only do what they can do. And they expect that the money will stay high or stay well for them when you have a certain situation going on in the country. And it's a shame that we're in the situation we are, but that's the way it is. And I mean, that's just, I'm just agreeing with Commissioner Van Sickle. It'd be nice if people had a list, because there's so many places offering this right around the corner and regularly. We're not going to make an ordinance or anything, but it would be nice if they had a list, whatever, to explain to people, and if other people would explain that to people also. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Seeing no other speakers, we will close commissioner comments and move on to closed session. I keep getting confused. Do we need a motion to move into? Okay, I'd like a motion to move to closed session.
So moved.
Zinner, support.
I don't look at that at all. Thank you.
Now I sound like Romano.
Okay, closed session with independent counsel to consider material exemption from disclosure by state statute and pending legislation. Case number 2018-001252-CZ. I'd like a motion to recommend that the full board determine reasonable compensation pursuant to MCL 49.73 in the amount of $14,076.79. Further, to Judge Massaroni's order in case number 19-2366-CK.
So moved.
Support, Zinner.
Who said?
Thank you. Commissioner Lucido and Zinner made the motion and seconded. Any discussion? Please vote.
Commissioner Lucido, I don't have your vote.
Oh, yes, I voted yes.
Thank you. And Commissioner Song, did yours come through? Yes, thank you.
Mine came through.
Motion passes 11-0-1. Commissioner Sabatini abstaining.
Thank you. Next, I'd like a motion to concur with the attorney's recommendation.
Support.
Zinner.
Real quick.
The second item? Yes.
That's the one he made the recommendation on, yeah.
Commissioner Van
Second
Sickle.
item.
Should we put the
Thank you.
case
Motion's
number
been made
in,
by
should we put the case number in the motion? That's my question.
Attorney?
You'll have to help me out with the case
Okay.
number.
It's case number, can I just make the motion?
On the agenda item.
I'll make the
Oh,
motion
that one?
to approve the attorney-client privilege, or the attorney's recommendation in case number 2018-001252-CZ.
Support.
Thank you. The motion's been made. Please vote.
Motion passes 10-2. Commissioners Hall and Romano voting no.
Thank you. Moving on to. Oh. Thank you.
Way to go, Mike.
Oh, we got to vote.
Motion passes 12-0.
Done deal.